Oh, my mic on the mixer was muted. What the fuck? Let's try this again. Hello. If it ain't one thing, it's another. If it isn't one thing, it's another. Let's try this all over again. Like, you know, just to go back here. And then oh my god, hi guys. Hey, welcome to the stream. All right, so all the stuff that people didn't get to hear. I won't be live tomorrow. Because I have a training class for the upcoming election here in DC. So meaning, you know, when general election comes around, schedule's gonna get funky again. Quite possibly no streams, quite possibly maybe one or two. It really depend. Depend. I was talking about how I thought about going live earlier because Parrish and I wanted to watch an interview with Hayden Panettiere. If you don't know who that is, go watch Heroes, go watch Nashville, go watch. I would say mainly Heroes will be your introduction, in my opinion, to Hayden. What else? Go play Kingdom Hearts. I found out about that one last night. But yeah, we're gonna watch an interview. But It's just like what we did during June, but now in November. I already know the things that are gonna change. They do this every time. I don't understand it, but at the same time, you know, it's like some people, they don't have the capacity to retain such info for such a long time. You know what I mean? Like from whatever point up until we do election stuff again, that's a lot of time. That's a lot of time just to spend away from knowing anything. Also, we really don't need to do this anymore. I think we have everything. Oh wait, no we don't. I don't know. But yeah, thank you. I don't think there's gonna be too. I don't think too much changes between primary and general. I'm fishing right now because we'll talk. I'm gonna move this up. Golden shell! All store tiers unlocked. Yay! Ooh. But yeah. So I won't be live tomorrow because it's a evening class. They say it's evening, but it starts at like 2:30. Wow! I got a hammerhead. Is that all of them? Wait, is that all the fish? No, I want to get rid of this bait, bro. Let me get rid of this freaking bait. So yeah. Oh, we don't have enough for that side. Well, that's sad. Yeah, thank you. We're playing Rivals today. Because why not? Why the hell not? Wait, there's one more legendary. There's one more that I don't have. Wait, there's one more I don't have. Is it like... Is it like... Is it from the first one? First volume? Hold on. Is it from the first volume? Oh, it's a new one. Okay, well, we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait after we do some games or something. God, this skin is so good. I should just do a rotating thing. I have all the skins I like. I just put up here. Every Rivals. Angel got it yesterday. Hey, okay. Okay. I'm just waiting for this to reload shaders. That's all. I don't want any reason where everything goes wonky. For whatever reason. Did you see the new skins that are coming? Or that will probably leak? I'm gonna say Gambit and Rogue because one of my friends was talking about Gambit and Rogue. I was like, they got a wedding skin when they first came out. They got a little wedding skin. They got a wedding skin, and then Cyclops and Phoenix are getting their like elegant, not really a wedding skin, but it's like just an elegant skin or something. And then Daredevil's getting another skin. Wait, what about Hellfire? Oh, I think they were just talking about, like, in general, them having... Is that the skin they're getting? Yeah, it just said elegant. That's what I saw in the thing. That's why I say it's the elegant skin. Yeah. And Daredevil is getting... I'm trying to think of the exact name of the skin, but it's like... I think it's a security? No, it's a lawyer skin. He's getting a lawyer skin. That's what he's getting. Getting a lawyer skin. Oh, sweet. We're done. Yes. So I was like, oh, cool. You know, some new skins. They look really nice. Actually, hold on. Let me pull it up for people who have not actually seen it yet. Let's see if I can find it. It was posted in my, like, Discord. I'm sorry, it isn't a leak. It's a confirmed thing. Never mind. I'm silly. It's a confirmed thing through Twitter. Through the Twitter channel. Did you know World of Warcraft is now playable? So starting on the 21st of August, which is in more than a few days, the Attorney at Law, Elegant Eye, and Viridian Vogue. Those are the skins coming out. I'm kind of liking this one. I'm kind of liking this one because the scruff here on Cyclops. The scruff here on Cyclops is really good looking. Like, hello. You know? He's looking good. That's what he's looking. And now, of course, the Daredevil skin looks really nice. He looks really dapper. I like the pocket tissue, but I like the Daredevil initials right here that's on a chain that leads to the pocket tissue, or to the little, like, pocket in the jacket. I think this on top of the Fortnite stuff coming out, I'm too broke for this, man. I am far too broke for this. I think it's a damn shame that all this stuff is coming out, and I won't be able to probably take advantage of most of it. Starting at some point later in this year, I'm probably going to put up a dono goal. I don't know if I'm going to combine them or do two. I'm going to put up a dono goal for travel. One will be for PAX. Well, it might be PAX East and another travel expense on top of it to somewhere in one. We'll see. I'm gonna go with it. It was taking me forever to the Fortnite stuff looks so cool.
Pick your hero.
Like, it's
villain.
ridiculous.
Victory is in my sight.
Like, it's ridiculous how beautiful the season looks for all that. It's wild. This is domination. That person was gonna go Phoenix to give me the team up power up, and this butthole went Moon Knight, and I hope they know that. I hope someone spits in their coffee. I'm kidding. Okay. I've been watching mad drama videos about rivals lately.
With me.
30 seconds before you attack.
I've been watching so many drama videos, man. Oh my god. It's like really dumb drama. It's not even like good drama. There's like this really dumb drama.
Sure you did. Do you think I would have let you join our strike team all those years ago if I didn't trust your judgment?
So you're not mad at me for signing on as one of Apocalypse's forces?
Not at all.
Battle starts in 5,
Exactly where you
4,
are. You
3,
did what it took to
2,
save your son,
1.
and we're here to help you.
All you need to do is capture the
There's always
mission area.
drama. I didn't know that.
I will not
All I
rest
knew is
until I
that
return to my world once more.
I was watching a Flats video about the stuff with that didn't hit shit. What the hell? What the hell, game? Fucking mean.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now. Double KO. Don't worry, Tucker.
You're free.
Where the hell did he go?
Mission area is yours.
I was watching something about the skin for Storm. No, that was my kill, you bitch ass.
I'll always have your back.
Where are my heals, lady?
And sometimes.
And that led me to the next time I went on YouTube. Sorry, I got like,
Mission area.
it felt like I got locked in for a second. It's a bot match. Why am I locked in?
That should make a difference.
Why is he just standing there? One of my salad. Oh, she had to. So yeah, it was about the storm stuff, and I think mainly not only just like that Storm gets neglected, and also a lot of other black superheroes in this game gets kind of neglected when it comes to skin releases. Storm has like 0 cosmetics.
Going to overtime. Control lost.
That's unfortunate. But then, yeah, that led me to like another video about some guy who was really upset with
We always come
Flats,
back.
because Flats was the creator I watched for the other video,
Going to
and it was like something he was talking about with not being invited to a press tour or something. Oh my god, hello? Sorry, whoever that was.
no winner yet. Going to overtime.
Is someone on it? No? Can we not go to the point? Oh no, we won. Okay.
She
Feels
may not
unimportant?
be here.
Yeah,
She's always
so
with me.
the thing with Flats is that he was talking about I've been invited to this press tour or something like that, I guess. And then this guy took like one clip of him saying that he doesn't get paid enough.
30 seconds before you
And
attack. Get ready.
it was like a whole thing about allowing smaller creators to be invited to something. And I was like, I don't get any of this. Yeah. I think that's what it was. That's what it was. He was responding to that, but it was I forget his name. It's like Ogre or something like that. He kind of sounds like Shroud. I'm not gonna lie.
Got it?
The way his cadence and everything, it kind of reminds me of Shroud.
We're more than just a team. We're a family.
The tank player. Yeah, and then it was like I forgot the guy's name. Probably not important, really.
The mission area is yours to capture
Oh,
now.
I am being fucked. I am being fucked. Oh my god, I was being held on by fucking Venom.
Free from the darkness now, child. I require. I don't give up quite that easy.
Mission area is yours.
We throwing a fiesta or what?
Right.
Villa corruption.
But yeah, he responded to that, and then like one of the things he said was taken out of context.
I set it up. You did.
Punch it up! There you are.
I hated doing that, Jubilee. That should make a
Double
difference.
kill.
I wish I could do this in a real match. I tried to bounce that off of something else.
Mission area. Keep going. Ouch, that hurts. Double KO.
Bet you didn't see that coming.
None of this is gonna get rebuilt. That's the sad part.
Well, look at beholds the god of thunder!
I got fucking ulted. Yeah, so it was like that
Battle's not
that
done.
point where
Neither
he's
am
like, I don't get paid enough or something like that, and they just took that one little thing out of context and just went in on that, and I was just like, I don't know, like there's a lot of people who use the expression, I don't get paid enough for, you know, something. I mean, to be honest with you, you know what? Hee hee.
So close.
Kind of vulnerable.
No winner yet. Going to overtime.
He stole my kill. Exactly that. Sorry, I keep getting focused on the rival. But yeah, I saw that whole dilemma and I thought it was like so silly that he was being called out just for that one thing. When I don't know. I just feel like this internet people just wanna rage bait people or rage bait. It's like the whole thing now. It feels like people now want to rage bait other people because they know it'll get them clicks, kind of thing. And that part really sucks about content creation, as opposed to like, oh my god, he hit a really nice shot, or oh my god, he's really funny, or wow, you know, he has really nice voice or something. I don't know. It's society now. Overall, I think. Overall, I just think society now relies too much on low-hanging fruit to get the quick buck, or to get the quick everything. With the lawsuit settled, will Vince McMahon be back on WWE? No, I hope not. I fucking hope not. Jesus. I need to bookmark this. Yeah. I just think we need to be more careful with a lot of different things.
Victory is in my sight.
With a lot of different things, because you just never know at this point. Also, I really appreciate that everyone locked into a different position instead of everyone being DPS. That warmed my heart. That warmed my entire heart. Oh, thank you. They nerfed him, by the way. Did you know that? They nerfed Cyclops.
He may not be here,
but he still
she's
feels
always with
good.
me.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
So I was watching a thing.
Still holding a grudge against the
I think coming into season 9, he was nerfed. Like they nerfed his Psybeam and how much damage it does.
You can't both win.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What the hell? They have a Cyclops too. I see. Did they get the other Cyclops? Did they leave the Spider-Man alone? I'm not getting any, like... I'm not even gonna try it. I'm done. Oh yeah, they reduced the amount of time it takes.
Let me help and heal.
Almost there. Don't turn back now.
Perfect angle.
Damage sustained. Need assistance.
There's a lot of different things. I hear Spider-Man. Get fucked, stupid nerd.
Knew I saw trouble.
Why is she coming after me now? Hello? I can't escort anything when she's on my asshole.
If the battle's not
I don't know, man.
neither am I.
Perfect angle. Todo bien, Zero. We'll clear you a path to Budokan.
Check out this spot.
Shadow.
Why am I being double teamed, brother?
This is real firepower!
Rest easy, big fella.
I cannot do anything with Angela on my asshole, bro. Angela needs to be dealt with. But I can't deal with Angela and Spider-Man all at the same time.
Quitters.
Face oblivion.
That's what I call teamwork.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Punch it up. Right on target.
How? How is he not dead? I don't even know anymore, bro.
Yo soy el final. There you are. Maximum impact.
Partners like the old days!
I'm trying to find the spider. You see how I'm trying to like... That didn't get shit because that got fucking blocked. I hate it here. Why are you coming after me, this woman? I swear to God. You know what? Okay, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go Namor. That's fine. Can't see.
Splendid. Even more of my loyal subjects answer my call. Denizens of the deep.
Get that vehicle moving again.
I'm so sorry. I need heals.
My strength is returning. Wash our foes away. You were merely a drop of water.
Fuck you. I'm so tired of Angela, bro. I am so tired of Angela. Can I get healed? Thank you.
What's up, bad guys?
This is real firepower!
Not today, Satan.
Protect your key.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Team strike! Efficient!
I can't see over there.
The vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Nice too. That was too late.
Double kill.
And he just ran into my arm, so that's cool. I'm standing on your doorstep, and I don't know what to do.
Wash our foes away. How refreshing.
That's it. Don't let anything stand in your way.
This should help you recover. Protect your king.
You can tell when I get really fed up with certain comps or like certain roles, because if I have to go Namor,
So close. This is your big chance.
if I have to go Namor, that means it is you're annoying me, bro. What's he doing?
Another epic victory. Big win.
Dude, Angela was so incredibly annoying. Like, I'm just existing in life. Okay? I'm just existing. But the fact that Angela is there and then fucking Spider-Man is there, and then you have to choose between like, okay, which one of these am I gonna target the most? Because you can't target both. I mean, I guess I did kind of target both. 10,000 damage, 6 final hits. Jubilee had 10. I didn't go on a tear or anything like that, so that's not bad. But look at that. Cyclops, Spider-Man, Angela. I'm not saying the Cyclops was an issue, but he became one because I couldn't get... Yeah, exactly. Stressful, man. Stressful. Level 100. This game can go pretty bad.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Victory is in my sight.
Why do I see people going DPS? And you literally could have... Why are people going DPS? And there's literally healer on the board. I'm not changing. I'm sorry. One of these two other guys who decided to come in and play DPS. Widow shoot. Come on.
Jean may not be here, but she's all.
No, I'm just tired.
Cartoon theme as close as possible without legal issues.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Okay. My thing is I want to catch up Cyclops, right? To where Moon Knight is. And everyone keeps going DPS for some weird reason.
You say that now?
Like the last game was cool because it was like they saw I went Cyclops or whatever. And then they're like, all right, here's 2 healers, 2 tanks, and another DPS.
3,
Amazing.
2,
Amazing.
Bogies, here they come.
Been away from the battle for too long. It's nice to be back in action. Thanks for the boost.
Perfect angle. Extreme force. Perfect angle.
halfway there. Keep going.
The level 100. Of course.
I'm an X-Man. We always come back.
I'm an X-Man. We always come back. I like how they put these pop culture references in there.
Maximum impact. Extreme force.
How did he get away?
Thanks for the boost. I'll always have your back.
Whoa, that is so big. Okay, so they have 1, 2. Spidey, Namor,
We always come back.
Get that vehicle
Spidey,
moving again.
Namor, and Black Cat. 2 divers and an anti-dive. Interesting. Very interesting. They're running 3 DPS. I'm gonna have to go. Well, and then they have Thor. Thor has to count as.
I spy some bad guys.
Get that vehicle moving again.
I got hit in that? Oh my god. Okay, I have to go Namor. I have to at least get Spider-Man out of there, bro. It's so terrible. Every game seems to be a Spider-Man.
Subjects answer my call.
Every game seems to have a Spider-Man.
Hulking beast.
That's 1. That's 2.
Ooh, I thought I smelled fish.
Can I get heals, please?
I deep brown them old for salt.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man.
That's fucked. It's not your fault. It's just like every game so far. Well, all the games so far have had a Spider-Man. But they also have Black Cat.
Get that vehicle moving again.
Like, I hear him.
Gamma spawn.
Namor's creature. It reeks of physique.
Dumbass.
Only 60 seconds left.
The collector protect your key. How refreshing.
If Spider-Man goes to the back again.
Down to 30 seconds.
Oh, it's
Almost there. Don't turn back now.
Down them. Behold the god of thunder.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I got Spider-Man. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just here to like get Cyclops up to a certain level.
Always right.
And then they're like, how about no?
Nowhere yet. Going to overtime.
I think it's because I keep seeing double dives and I'm kind of tired of double dives. I'm starting to become incredibly tired of double dives. And then I'm being fucked on that one.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
That's very unfortunate. I felt like I wasn't getting healed at times. That's such a cute MVP, actually. I swear to God, I feel like I'm gonna get him to Lord before I get Cyclops or Moon Knight to Lord. can come in. I'll exit out. I'm just tired because, well, I'm not tired. Like tired, but I'm just tired. Having to deal with dives. Like, I don't play dive right now because I know how difficult that task is, but they make it look easy when there's like no one on the team to counter said dive, I guess. Okay, I'll do one more match then. It's probably gonna be a bot match anyway. But yeah, like you've been go. I mean, I can't sit here and say that like people shouldn't go Spider-Man or people shouldn't go certain heroes because that feels very disingenuous. And it feels very like me.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Victory is in my sight.
It feels very me. But I think people shouldn't not expect someone to counter their pick, even in quick play. Right. The fact they had two divers, I was just like, well, either one or two things are gonna happen here. Well, they had three technically.
Jean may not
Black
be
Cat,
here.
Thor,
She's always
and
with me.
Spider-Man. And then they made sure they
30
had
seconds
some
before your
type of
Get ready.
anti-dive with
Before you even say it, Psych, yes, I knew what I was getting myself into.
oh,
I'm sure you did. Do you think I would have let you join our strike team all those years ago if I didn't trust your judgment?
So, you're not mad at me for signing on as one of Apocalypse's
yeah,
horsemen?
exactly.
Not
The
at all.
battle starts in
I've been
5,
exactly where you
4,
are. You
3.
did what it took to
2,
save your
Oh,
son.
self auto rock.
And we're here to
Exactly,
face the
exactly.
fallout.
This is a big job for a little robot, but Herbie
Past or future. As long as folks are living on their needs, I'll keep standing.
They're in front of us.
Right on target!
I don't know who I just hit. They have a black cat.
Perfect angle!
This deserves your attention.
Did you miss me? Extreme force!
Halfway there. Keep going.
I've got eyes on our enemy. Big job for a little robot, but Herbie's up to the task.
She's around here somewhere.
I have many faces.
They took out Cap.
That should make a difference. Extreme force!
Here's my question. I know they're trying to protect themselves, but why is it that it feels like
Me already.
Maximum impact!
she's gonna get healed? She's gonna get healed. Black cat. I would like Namor could just be everyone's counter, can it? Like every diver's. That was not where I wanted to go, but okay.
This deserves your attention.
Bet you didn't see that coming.
You belong to me! You schooled them, Miss
Why did she pop that there? You know what? Let's not question these things.
Don't turn back now.
I saw someone over here.
That should make a difference.
I outnumber you.
I guess not. Guess it was the win.
Behind you, my ally. Render me assistance.
Did she not get hit by the?
The vehicle reached the checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Got my eye.
Anyways, thanks, friend.
Sorry, but I never miss.
Oh, I missed a few times there. Oof.
Perfect timing.
Force boost. All you got.
So much time to
Blast.
I don't know where he went to. That's a future me problem.
I'm fine. Don't mind me or anything. We will not be stopped short. You hear me, robot?
Right on target. Extreme force.
Jesus Christ. Punisher's a good counter.
No.
Still got some fight
Yeah.
left in me.
What are you aiming at?
Mm,
Stronger than this, Emma. I know it.
Perfect angle.
that hit nothing. How?
Thanks for the boost.
Okay, never mind. I'm just gonna get walked down if I do that. Come on, DPS.
Double KO.
I'm literally being tracked down by fucking black cats.
Maria.
That should make a difference.
Did that not get anyone? I'm being. I'm gonna just go Namor
Face oblivion.
for it.
Even more of my loyal subjects answer my call. Denizens of the deep.
Rich to blame DPS on this.
The captain is down. You belong to me.
How refreshing. I am ready for hulking beast.
Double KO.
Render me assistance. Look who's here.
Denizens of the deep.
I think my squid got fucked up. Yeah, my squid got fucked up.
You're halfway there. Keep going.
As she said, just like that.
Only 60 seconds left. Feeling kind
Hello?
double KO.
Protect your key.
Hostile forces
I have
incoming.
faith in you, Herbie.
Not bad.
Almost there. Don't turn back now. Down to 30 seconds.
Come on, DPS. He says.
No winner yet.
That's my
Going to overtime.
15k damage.
You cannot
The
wash your
vehicle
hands
reached a
of the
checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
We got to the checkpoint at least. So that's good.
You gotta see this.
More foes to conquer.
Check this out.
Protect your king.
Facing back. The merrier. Hooked you up. Let me
Wash our foes away.
I found one.
Monsters of the deep.
That's so fucked.
Invigorating, no. I am I outnumber you.
I will not be
That
stopped
was
so easily.
so fucked. I'm not good with hit scan,
Avengers Tower.
despite what anyone says.
Don't mind me or anything.
Protect your king.
I got hit like hard. Bring on the chaos.
Only 60 seconds left.
A shield fit for a king.
That's it. Don't let anything stand in your way.
Look who's here.
Gamma spawn. Cleanse this place.
I know it.
Yo soy el final.
Down to 30 seconds.
Who has ult?
KO. Us against the world.
Are we moving toward the tower or not?
I hit someone through that.
The final 10 seconds.
Attack them. Hulking beast. Cleanse this place.
No winner yet. Going to overtime.
Wash our foes away. Protect your
Well, I got a kill out of that, but
Double KO. Well, you can't expect to win.
literally, someone had ult. Two people had ult. Emma had ult, and so did Jubilee, and none of them popped. That would have been the perfect moment for them to pop that. I'm twerking my asshole out there, brother. I'm twerking my asshole out there, brother. I'm twerking my asshole out there, brother. The only reason why I go Namor is just to block Spidey. That's it. That's the only reason. In a regular game where, well, I shouldn't say regular game. If there are no divers, period, and it's just straight shooters, then I'm fine. I can say Cyclops. I mean, I could totally say Cyclops if someone else tried to go a counter. I don't always want to go counter for those because I want to play the character I like playing. So does everyone, but damn, man. Yeah, two people didn't all, so we ended up not. One second, I think I have a message. Oh no, I don't. Do not. I just saw a picture from the boat where it's like, do not swear. And I think that is the funniest thing ever. I think that's the absolute funniest thing. I'm thinking about streaming Fortnite for the new season coming out. If like Erish and I are playing, I want to stream it. It'll be like old times. I feel like I have kind of prepped away from Once Human. I'm not gonna lie. And I don't know if it's because I find Rivals and and other games a lot more fun right now. I don't know. I mean, Once Human is fun, but I'm always left behind on Once Human. It's like, and I hate asking for help, I think, because everyone is already at like, not max level, but they already have like all the upgraded stuff when I
The
get
right
on.
heroes could make all the
So
difference.
I feel bad for asking.
Victory is in my sight.
Okay. Sure. My aim needs to get better. Yeah, if Emma pops ult right there along with Jubilee stuff, and if I had ult again, I
She
probably
may
would
not
have
be
ulted
here,
them as they were
but she's
getting
always with me.
dragged back in or something.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
Both of my ults are really bad though. I'm not gonna lie.
What kind of creature are you?
Both of my ults were not
Strange
very well
allies
placed.
this war
That
has brought
that map
together.
is very one of those where you have to hold alt for like the perfect time. I don't know if I wanna do that.
4, 3, 2.
If they have a Spider-Man, I'm gonna cry.
You have to
Oh
stop
wait,
them
this is
from
a bot
securing
match.
the
What am I
mission
doing?
area.
Thanks for the boost. They needed doing, so it was done.
Extreme force!
Damage sustained. Need assistance.
That's what I call teamwork.
I'm gonna go around. That's the only reason why I took that bubble. Yeah, I thought all of my ults in that game were just like really bad.
I set it up. Knew I saw trouble. Bad news.
Oh, they have a name war. Oh.
Maximum impact!
They have a Namor. Did someone switch to Namor here? No, they just switched to Namor. Squid.
I don't give up quite that easy.
The CPU doing that? Whoa, crazy. Wow. Hold on, why are you playing Cyclops in a bot match? Because I want experience on Cyclops. That's all. Normally in bot matches, I would just go for a completely different hero. I mean, it might still happen. Oh my god! Jeff came late. I feel like you place your ults really well though. And I feel like sometimes I do the same. Like I place my ults okay or very well, but that last game, none of my ults were that great.
Maximum impact!
That should make a difference.
I got stuck in a fucking door.
You need to stop that vehicle.
See what I mean? My aim is so bad. I need to change my thing.
Tide just came in.
Right on target! Your powers are mine!
Vehicle.
Got my eye.
Disappear. What am I? Invisible?
Mm,
Should have seen that coming.
I don't give up quite that easy.
mm, me, my, man, and Mel.
Asgard is with
I went the
you.
wrong fucking way, bro.
God of Thunder!
I went the wrong way.
I got hit. Like,
Ooh, beat a bop, bada, bada, ba, beat a. Ooh, beat a, bada, 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 bada.
Double KO.
Walk him down, Scott Summer. Scott, walk him down, Summer. That's crazy because I was just thinking it was gonna do something else completely different. I didn't do shit.
You were in my path.
I like that one, Dad.
Force!
I like that one.
Double KO.
Eat up, Sided with us, Namor.
You have need of your strength.
I hate the fact
To attack.
that that beam does not. I knew you would come. That was a solo walk. That's my bad.
Double KO.
Blessing through!
never seen you quit before. Got hit. Like, hard.
No, yeah.
We always come back.
I feel like sometimes with alts, I feel like I still don't have the awareness with alts that most people do. Like the perfect timing for an alt.
Back to the ocean with you. That should make it. Right on target. I set it up. You did the hard part.
You butthole.
I'll always have your back.
It was mine and mine alone.
That should make a difference.
Can he die over there, please? Never mind, I gotta.
Blessing through!
Oh my god, that area had like nothing.
Everybody needs a hand sometimes.
Maximum impact!
Where was he putting that?
Your powers are mine!
Is there a Bucky? Oh my god, not them having two of them. One is enough.
Came with him. Thanks for the boost.
Maximum impact! Easily.
Ah!
Still stand your ground. It's almost over.
That's what they did. They nerfed the primary fire, I think, and I don't think they gave it to alt fire, but yeah, there are a few things. It was
The final 10 seconds.
whatever they did to Scott. Stop it.
No winner yet. Going to overtime.
Right on target!
Thanks for the boost.
Perfect angle! Punch it up! Punch it up!
I got killed. Yeah, that stuff.
I don't give up quite that easy.
Yay, we win in bot match.
Another
I don't think I get MVP for that. Never mind, I did. Never mind, I did. It's always in bot match. It's never in real. I mean, twice in real match, but I swear, dude. I swear I can. Just joining. Okay. Well, at least it won't be bot match this time. At least it won't be bot match. Let me drink some more. Actually, before we start, let me get more water from downstairs, and then I'll cue us in. Give me a moment. I have a wireless headset. I don't know why I was about to like place a wire somewhere. I don't know. Oh, let me do the BRB screen. Oh, my back hurts. All right. Is she in Discord already? In the Discord. Ours? Okay.
I'm doing it too quick. Oh my god, you're on.
Hello, or oh, I'm
I'm
not
just
back from
warming
the
up.
break yet. Oh, there we go.
That was so late.
Sounds like me when I'm in a duty on Final Fantasy. You want mitigation? You get it late. Haha, hee hee.
Oh,
That's me.
you might
chat.
not even need to uppercut for this one, Web. You might just be able to just trace or cut, like cancel it.
You doing Spider-Man thing?
I am. Oh, I did not get as much distance. I didn't jump in time.
I mean, know when you're ready, you know.
Yeah, I'm ready.
I'm
Oh,
so happy I don't have a
yeah.
camera.
I gotta hit the button for Web.
Salam alaikum.
Web says hello. I actually don't remember exactly what it is in Arabic that he says.
Pick your hero or villain. I'm not judging.
Victory is in my sight.
I've gotten good at locking
Peace be
in.
with you. Okay.
Oh. Well, that's actually pretty neat.
Fine. I'll be
Oh.
the fucking Lord Gambit, I guess. They forced my hand.
I'm being stingy.
G
All right,
may not be here,
I've entered my
but she's
stingy era.
always with me.
You're allowed. No, be
30
selfish,
seconds before you
bestie.
attack. Get ready.
I'm tired of these whores in this house.
Look
Look at you, Gato. An entire empire at the tips of those fancy vibranium claws.
Now watch me not hit not a damn shot and go to healer.
But we have found our
Oh,
place
never mind.
among
Someone
the
else went healer.
stars. You can have them. All I want to rule is the streets.
Then go
And I'm
tank.
starting at home in the Bronx.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I was like, who is that?
Capture the mission area.
That's me.
Got it?
I was like, who touching me? Who driving this bus?
Side of this, 'cause I ain't never going back behind bars again.
Me? I'm
Not
taking
even
the
a
long way.
Courteous torch can't even break the window for his teammates. I gotta do it.
Wow. Imagine.
Hi, Venom.
But Venom.
He's antied.
Oh, they have Spooter, man.
I'm here on you.
The mission area is yours to capture now. To capture the mission area.
So let's see here. They have Black Cat, Black Panther, and Spider-Man.
Do better.
I don't give up quite that easy.
I see. They're forcing my hand.
Control seized.
Be careful over there.
Mm-hmm.
Control lost.
Get off of me.
Nice too. Oh my god, the Jeff stuff. She's almost dead. Oh yeah.
I'm really tempted to switch to Spidey and diff him, but I don't want a solo here Ultron. Get out of my face, brothers.
I might have to turn on my DPI for
Let's
this.
go boom. We
Come on down, little Vinny. I don't know why I call him that. Come on down, little Vinny.
I don't know who's up there, but I cannot see you.
Me either.
Get
Never mind,
out of
they're
here,
dead.
brother. I'm on you. I'm out of cards though. I can't anti anybody. Black Cat's almost dead. Nice. Venom anti dead.
You captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
Okay, I wasn't trying to ping Jubilee. I was trying to ping Shark upstairs. Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead.
Ping Shark, bro.
I really want to diff this Spidey, bro. He's so bad.
I gotta
Yeah,
wait
but-
so long for my goddamn photon laser.
Nope. You're not diving my hood. They're going a long way. This way.
Yeah, I see him.
Cat anti. Cat one.
You got BP behind you.
I hope I hit you with that.
I thought one just like went off the map.
No.
That was
Get out of here, brother! You are garbage!
Nightmare enemy picks, literally.
We
Get
X-Men
out of
beat
my
death a
lobby.
long time ago.
But we dealt with them without me having to change to Namor. So, God bless.
Vinny Jr. is the name of a footy player. I played too much FIFA. He's wearing your suit. He is, Web. He is.
What
and
happened
he's
to all
fucking
the dive
garbage with it.
characters? You just met a team that could counter them, I guess.
Dude, you've got a Gambit who's the perfect anti-dive. Get off of my fucking Cyclops.
Get off my team.
30 seconds
Thank you.
before you
Please and
attack.
thank you.
Literally. Look who has ace. It's me. Because of course it is.
It's not like
Yeah, I'm
you
just
know.
hitting on point. Like,
Probably
hey,
used to be
what's
free
up?
as
My
the
aim is
wind,
ass.
Scouty, but now
Not
he's
time to
got
get the
something bigger than
Grandmaster.
himself
I'm not
on the
hitting
line. I
ranked
understand.
in this game at
But
all.
If you really want to protect
I
You
don't
could
recommend
not.
it.
ease up.
You cannot pay me enough. I would do it in Overwatch because they have roll queue.
4,
But in this game where there is no roll queue, I would not do it.
Yeah, it's just a free for all.
Capture the mission area. Got it?
I almost got to gold for the Juby skin last season, and that's kind of like when I cared. I don't like Hood like as a character, like period at all.
You know what? That is totally fine.
I
I
don't
just
like
get to
that they
look
made
at it.
his whole personality a bum and Puerto Rican. Ooh, nope, I'm getting out of that. Hi, Spidey.
You're what? Fucking shark. Oh, I am being.
Back up, back up, back
I
up,
try.
back up, back up, back up, back up. I'm dead. Yeah. I had Black Cat on me.
I had Venom and the entirety of the other team on me, I think.
The mission area.
I don't give up quite that easy.
Hello,
They do the
Steven.
same
Hope
thing
you're
with Elsa, but it's
having a
British
great
and
day.
Monster. Girl. Get off of me!
Sorry if I stole that from you.
Ew! No, you're good.
I just put in one beam and that was a.
Anyway, our tank left Lamel because he's garbage.
Oh. I can't imagine being garbage. Actually, yes, I can because I am.
They're anti, but be careful. We don't have a tank, so I gotta play a little bit back.
Yeah.
Spidey, get the
Nice.
fuck out of my face, brother. Like, on God. Ooh,
I'm gonna
oh
go
my God.
around and
Yeah, go ahead.
never
Okay,
mind.
weird. A weird Juby all. I guess we are down a person. Push, 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 funny, push, funny, push, funny. Ooh.
I have a Black Cat on me, unfortunately.
Progress has passed the halfway point.
Perfect precision.
Fuck off of. Never mind. Wait, did they? They have a Black Widow.
Yeah.
When?
Juby switched
I don't give up
off.
quite that easy.
The fuck?
I heard John Berthel screaming while trying to push. I'm literally just like, Punisher, move up, Punisher,
That
move
is
up, Punisher,
so.
move up.
Need to charge up more,
Okay.
Cher.
I'm at 77.
I'm going the opposite way.
That's fine.
Cyclops.
I'm poking.
Cyclops? Oh, sorry. Psylocke.
Ooh. Ah. Help me, please. Help me, please. Help me, please. Help me, please. No. Ah.
I cannot track her.
Cat wants me dead. Cat wants me dead. Thank you. No.
Need to get on point though,
Get
unfortunately.
off of me, Spidey. Yeah,
No.
that's fine. Bro, please. Can I get a Magneto?
Why are we for DPS?
This guy literally joined, saw 3 DBSs, and was like,
She's
bro.
always with me.
Why?
Yo, check this place out.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
No.
You rule the dead?
And all who will be dead.
Then thank me later for the gift of
We got a
more
Magneto.
servants.
Yes, because I told he said attack, and I said no, and I spam pinged my team up request. Like, brother, let me carry.
Jesus
Starts in
Christ.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Like, I almost have ult.
All you need to do is capture the mission area.
I-
Got it?
Now they're
Being
saying,
a
what are we
mutant means every
doing?
day is
But
a
like, we
battle.
had a tank leave in the middle
This
of
one
our
is certainly
game.
bigger than usual.
Literally.
So like, what are you doing, my good sir?
They have a Moon Knight now. Ooh, I am almost dead. I'm dead here because of the fucking shark. He jumps off because he's a pussy.
Looks like the mission area is yours to capture now.
Ultron's alive, but I don't know where he is. Okay, I see him.
There was nothing I could have done there.
Yeah,
I
that's
gotta wait
fine.
for.
But Jeff ult down, so that's huge.
I was waiting for Magneto to come back.
Meg's here, I'm on him.
Did we get
Ultron.
Spider-Man?
Please.
No? Okay, now we got Spider-Man.
Get in there.
Thank you.
Guys, come on! What are we doing?
All right, thank God I didn't actually use the ult.
Yeah, use it when you come back, though.
They did say they didn't know
Can't see
Magneto.
whoever that is up there.
I'm just being
course, Chewie
incredibly
has
selfish
all.
because I am tired
Perfect precision.
You're allowed to be.
of being forced to other roles that I don't want to play.
The halfway point.
Spidey
Fuck
one,
outta
but he's going for
here.
the health back. Get off of me.
I'm gonna wait till I get my optic blast back and then I'll do the ult.
Magneto showing the kids.
Never mind.
Get out of
Nice.
here. Widow dead.
Do we have? No, it's theirs.
Guys,
I'll never turn down a shield.
Thanks for their shield, buddy. Never mind. I was gonna try and like ult that since they're like 4 point.
I'm an X-Man.
What's his name?
Dude.
Is gonna get fucked
why
on that one.
can't this guy switch
My
to
accuracy is
someone?
so.
I cannot see who that is. I need. Oh my god, he's so low. I'm pushing this.
Me
Here we
too.
go. Shark almost dead. I can heal through that. Thank you, Mag. Maybe if you weren't playing hella into this team comp, I'd actually like focus on healing you more. Respectfully, we already have a hit scan. You have 2.
You've captured more than half of the mission area.
Ooh, I am stressed. Also, hi Yin. I don't know if I said hi to Yin earlier, but hi. What did I get fucked by? Oh, Moon Knight. Oh.
I'm fucking dead to this bitch ass Spider-Man who literally sucks. How did we lose
Willing to
this?
help?
Punisher. Oh my god.
To be honest, my accuracy could have been better that game.
I cannot believe we fucking lost that.
My accuracy could have been so much better.
No, you did literally great.
Peter.
I can't believe we lost that, bro. Was the mag the torch? Yes. Like, everyone should know how to, like, play at least Magneto. Genuinely. He's, like, the best tank right now. I wanted to diff that Spidey so bad. He was so garbage.
I don't know if everyone switched off, but we lost the tank. We lost the tank for sure. Chat.
And people are why did our hood leave? I'm really curious.
I don't know. Either it was a genuine disconnection or something, because we won that first round, so it had to be like a genuine disconnection, like their internet went out.
Maybe.
But we lost a tank, so that was the big thing.
The hella sticking to playing a hit scan was kind of the worst of us.
You'll
He
need a
got gifted
top-notch
500
team
subs
to
and said,
win
damn, I
this
don't need a
one."
job anymore.
I'm
giving you the team up.
I'm
That's why
seeing
big
how
innings.
many.
Victory is in my sight.
If I need to switch, I'll switch. I don't mind. What's my other team up? Oh, hella. Ugh. You're really gonna fucking... I just want to practice with Phoenix.
She's always with me.
They said in this economy, no. I would have switched off this time actually.
Oh, it's okay.
Because I was thinking about it.
Pseudo X-Men because fuck Wanda.
I can see the hate in your eyes, but I am not the enemy.
I get so much mileage out of this one.
Fair. My
What's this other one?
Victory is in my sight.
Who, Cyclops? It's not good.
Oh, it's Gambit.
5, 4,
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Even the unupgraded Phoenix one, I think is still better than upgraded Gambit.
Got it?
I could have swore I just saw a fucking spear. Oh, Star-Lord.
You were not going crazy. You definitely saw what you saw.
Anyway, Dino low.
The way I got out of there, oh my god, I'm so good with movement. You're not him, bud. You're not him, bud. You're not him. Oh, I should have stayed in that a little bit more.
Okay, you unfortunately didn't hit me, the Gambit. I'm on White Fox. Fox dead. Namor dead.
Yes, sir. Yes, he is, baby. Yeah, I was just wondering who what the other team up was.
Yeah, it's
because I've only used the Gene one.
It's fun, but I feel like the Phoenix even upgraded is just leagues better. Get out of here. I hear her. Get off of my team.
Her trying to flank
I know,
is so silly.
She's not a sit-on main DPS, so she's actually doing her job right. She just has a Gambit up her ass. Get off my team. Oop, I missed my ante.
Oh, there was no one in that hallway. I used my little beam for no reason.
Get out of here.
Why, Norm, are you bad at shooting? Well, you see, back when I was 12.
Yeah, this is why I play projectile heroes.
I'm worse with them. That's the bad part.
Oh, I cannot play hit scan to save my life. You would think I'd be really good at them, but I'm not. I can't see you, Norm. Be careful. I'm pushing turtle. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
There's
agree.
nothing
Went
I
to the
can do
left there. Yeah, no, it's fine. I made a financial decision, a very bad one, but I made one. It's just like real life, where you make those bad financial decisions. But you know, you need to save like 20 bucks. I don't know why I went that way. I'm so silly.
Oh, they have a squirrel girl. I'm so tempted, bro. But they have a Namor still. Hi, Namor. No. He really said I'm gonna switch to Iron Man with a Star-Lord and a Namor. Get out of here.
Walk him down, Summers, as they call him. That's me. I'm walking them down. I wanted that to bounce a different way. I don't know the perfect angle to bounce on it, apparently, Chad.
So it's a lot easier if you actually hit someone with it first than try and like angle it.
I like hitting angle, bitch. I like hitting angle.
No. I'm alive.
Not today,
I got you.
Thank you.
I didn't hit you with that. I'm so sorry. I tried.
Please get out of my face. Thank you. Damn, y'all killed him before I could even pull that off.
You ruined the X-Men, the Wolvie. No. You're not allowed to touch. Anyway, thank you so much. Another one, thank
We
you.
did it, Chad. We did it.
I don't know who Jubilee was healing to heal 10k, but sure.
I don't know either.
But thank you very much. I'll take my MVP. I'll take my medal. Thank you so much.
I'll take Gambit. Who said that?
Lord Gambit. Who
Not
did
that
say
I
that?
ate a
That's crazy.
sandwich during that. What the hell? You're getting your keyboard dirty. What the hell? Wow. I had.
God damn it, Logan. That's why you're alone. It's so true.
Who was the squirrel girl on her team?
The
the
Doctor
tank.
Strange.
That's so silly. Oh my god.
Devil Dino to Squirrel Girl to Strange is crazy.
Wow, that's so. Anyways,
They let the demons take over.
me too. I let the demons take over as well. Every day I wake up.
Every day I wake up.
Just like tomorrow, the demons are gonna take over if they ask about 40,000 fucking questions, and they've done this shit before.
Pick your hero or villain.
Ooh,
I'm
chow.
not judging.
Victory is in my sight.
Ooh, chow. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all about election work training, okay? Really quick, I'm gonna tell y'all about it because one of the things that I find so funny is they'll ask us in class. Who has been here before? Who has done this before? And then you'll see a bunch of people raise their hand. Okay? Like they've done it before. And then near the end of the class, not even near the end of class, in the middle of class, they will ask the dumbest
She may not
questions.
be here, but she's always with me.
Like it's explained so clearly.
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
It's explained
I am
so
not.
clearly. I'm not going tank. They can kiss my ass.
Now it's time for business. 9 tells or 1.
Things are gonna get easier. I hope so.
Oh, Hood, I don't want to be near you, brother. Shut your mouth.
The battle starts in 5.
Get the
4,
fuck away from
three,
me.
Why are you
Like,
all the way over here
ew,
near me?
1. All you need
This
to
is
do
my
is
door.
capture
Go
the mission
away.
area. Got it?
My door.
Everybody better be sharp.
I
One
go.
wrong move,
Wait,
and
leave
it all
Damien
go
Priest
pa'l
alone.
carajo.
Wait. Hold up. I was like, wait a second. I know who that is. Oh my god.
They have a Spidey. Nope.
Thanks for the boost.
An unsurprising White Fox is already dead. I didn't hit you with my thing. I'm so sorry, Norm.
It's okay. I was trying to get Iron Man out the sky, but it's gonna be difficult if
I'm an X-Man.
Spider-Man and what's her name?
Mission area is yours.
Black Cat are not dealt with.
This calls for una celebración.
I hit him.
I got you.
He's going into cover. He's gonna get killed. That's the bad part. Fuck. Okay, I hit the.
Move on.
Control lost.
Oh my god. I cannot hit that to save my life. That's one.
Now that's good optics.
I gotta wait for y'all. I was just trying to handle one person. Sorry, brother.
That's what I
Get
call
out of here, brother.
Control seized.
I can hear you.
Bless me, Solo.
Thanks for the boost.
Ooh, I'm out of swings. I'm out of swings. That's not good. I'm at tracers too. Oh boy.
I don't know who was.
Get off of my team.
Oh, he is so weak. Get him. If I don't get an assist for that,
You've captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
No, I fucked my swing up.
Fuck. I hate the fact that I don't have my shit right now.
Eat shit, brother. Get off of my lobby. Where is this Loki? Shut the fuck up. I'm mad. Please,
Okay,
White
yeah.
Fox, I beg of you.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man. Right on target.
Get off of my team.
Sir. I said nice, sir.
Where ya? Going to overtime.
Twinkify him. Oh, was it Squirrel Girl? Yes, twinkify him.
I don't give up quite that
I have 94. I'm at
Get
94.
out of here.
All right.
I'm diffing the hell out of this Spider-Man, dude. Oh my god, it feels so good, dude. I'm so fucking annoying. God, I love playing Spider-Man. Sorry, Norm. I'm so hyped.
She's always
I can tell.
I'm diffing the fuck out of this Spider-Man. I do not care.
Zoro is king. Oh.
30 seconds before you attack.
Oh.
Get ready.
Single heal?
You don't have any
Oh, I'm so
formal
hyped.
martial arts
The
training,
magic
do
honestly
you,
needs to switch. She
Spider-Man?
hasn't done shit, respectfully.
Not much, but in theory, my spider sense.
They switched to
should let me
Wanda.
dodge
That's
any
so
punch you
funny.
throw.
And what happens when your spider sense inevitably fails you?
Huh. I guess a backup plan wouldn't be
Oh,
a bad
I love
idea.
Spider-Man.
They have
Battle starts in 5.
they have Iron Man
4,
too, which I'm trying to focus, but it's really hard.
I got him, don't worry.
All you need to do is
I was like, it's
capture
really
the
hard to
mission
get
area. Got it?
Iron Man out the sky when you have so many other. Oh, we lost the
Lamau.
the what's her name? Yeah.
Magic heard me that she needs to just fucking switch.
Perfect angle.
That was not it.
She cannot stand a Spider-Man being Lord. He switched! He switched! He switched up to Spider-Man! Unfortunately, you don't have a Wanda anymore. No!
I have to get out of there.
Iron Fist, you don't lose that. Oh my god, you lose that.
I'm coming back though.
I got a flank.
Fucking Nat decides to come into my room now. Are you shitting my dick,
The
bro?
professor didn't train quitters.
Capture the mission area.
Anyways, hi
Hit
chat.
me.
My eye
Whatever.
is twitching.
Oh, White Fox, you fucking gave me away.
Namor would be awesome. You would be awesome.
I fucked it. Squirrel's dead. Nope, goodbye. Uh-oh, no! I almost got out, dude! Who switched to Spidey? Who switched?
Twinkify! Yippee! I can't do much with that. I gotta back up.
Where's their Spider-Man?
That should make a
Let me fucking
There
see
he
him.
is.
Let me see him once. Define there.
Your team's capture progress has passed the halfway point.
I gotta go around. Hello? Oh, he's trying to web me? Stop it.
Always outmatched. Ball heads.
I don't want your web.
He sucks. Lamau. I am dangerously low. I'm trying to help you with that squirrel girl.
Yeah, Squirrel Girl is being Squirrel Girl. Iron Fist seems to be going after
Fight
her.
left in me.
No, Web, not you. Not you. You don't suck. You're fine.
Control seized.
Oh, Spidey. Let me see
The Web's
you.
from the Spider-Man.
Wow.
The area
No.
is ours.
Bless me, Shola.
We don't want that. That's
fuck my
disgusting.
ult.
That's nasty. I
I
am
messed up my ult.
62%.
The Rocket, considering they're 1 and 7. Yeah, very true. They think they can diff me, but they can't. I'm watching point. Hood's not pushed up, so just be careful. Getting around the Hulk. I see their Punisher. Funny dead. coming to
He
point.
jumped.
I pulled just a little too early.
Okay, we're fine. We're good.
Time to heal.
You've captured more than half of the mission area. Keep going.
Lamau.
Oh my god, brother. This is the worst time for...
Spidey left.
Double KO.
No contingency
I missed.
plan.
Nice.
Someone's touching.
Fuck it.
Ooh, that hurts.
Oh, she heals from that.
Yeah, she does.
That's dumb.
Oh my gosh, it still lasts.
In on this enemy. Hi, neighbor. Thanks, Penny.
Anyway,
Well, we win.
another MVP. Thank you so much. Oh my god. I
That
love
other
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man trying to do anything to me? Crazy, nuts.
And
Never
I
heard
just
of.
said no.
Victory.
Norm goes, oh my god, Spider-Man. And I go, what Spider-Man? Thank you very much.
Why is his bowl of
He's
whatever
so cute.
he's eating pixelated?
So I hope it doesn't go off of my graphics. I have to play on potato settings.
Because I've noticed that every time I've seen that MVP, it's like pixelated soup or whatever he's eating.
I have to play on super potato graphics in order to run this game. And
No,
not
that's
explode.
fine. No, yeah, no, I get that. I get that. I don't know if it goes off your because I have it at ultra, I think.
It's weird that it's.
But for me,
interesting.
it was like a pixelated soup.
Yeah, you couldn't tell what he's eating. I've never been able to tell what he's eating.
Yeah, like what the hell is that?
I have to turn so many things down to like performance. You held
We're
them
gonna
back,
look at
good
highlight.
shit. Thank you. Web, it's not ramen. Stop saying. Who eats ramen with a spoon?
Peter.
Respectfully. Okay, you know what, Norm? Don't you start. It better be oatmeal. I swear to God, if he's eating ramen with a spoon, I'm gonna have some very choice words for him.
Listen, Americans are really weird, okay?
And
They'll
those
find
choice
any
words-
utensil. They'll use any utensil when they're broke, rich, whatever, because they just don't understand that they need to use chopsticks for that. But instead, they're gonna use a fucking spoon.
A spoon. And
A
honestly,
fucking
those choice
spoon.
words. To be honest, those choice words are just gonna be my lips on his. But you know, it is what it is.
Oh, okay. I have no piss in this horse. I know I said it wrong, but like,
Oh my God.
not that I'm about to leave call. I feel like I saw this T Tim earlier. One PlayStation user though. We have 2 PlayStation and an Xbox.
3. Oh no, 2 and an Xbox. You right. Anyway, can we finally do the
Victory
thing?
is in my sight.
Angela Bassett did the thing. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I have to do the shimmy with it. Angela Bassett did the thing.
I love how I can hear the shimmy in your brother.
Normally, I would try to. Normally, I would try to like replicate it, but you know, like doing the shimmy, I feel like it adds a layer to it. Also, why do you see 2 DPS and think, let's go DPS?
Let's go,
She may not
Lord
be
Squirrel
here,
Girl.
but she's always with me.
Like, good for you for standing in one spot.
Stay strong.
Literally.
Sorry, I don't like Squirrel Girl.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
And apparently just as feisty too.
I don't like Squirrel Girl either. I was honestly tempted to leave, but I couldn't do that to you.
That's so crazy.
I made a vow to E-Man that if I fucking see a Lord and above Squirrel Girl, I'm leaving the game. But I'm playing with you, so I can't. Also, I'm cursed one.
It's up to us to help people who can't help themselves.
Thor, Star-Lord, Strange. Hey, Squirrel Girl, you wanna like do something with those nuts of yours? They switched to Wanda. I fucked up. I lose this, unfortunately. Excuse me. Nope.
I'm coming back to point. Never mind. Lord Squirrel Girl, do something. You're a lord. I'm gonna start yelling at her like Bob in Overwatch. Bob, do something.
Where is my dino, bro?
I'm dead. Oh, that's Spider-Man. Never mind. Wait, that was you.
Yeah, that's me. That's me.
I'm so sorry.
That's fine.
Can you die, sir?
Got him. Got him.
I don't want to hit you more than I have to.
Got him.
That should make a difference.
Anyway, hi. I need healing.
You know,
Thanks.
khakis.
Get the fuck out of my face, Wanda.
I feel great. How's everyone else?
Is he not?
No.
I love that I am being chased down by a Thor in the midst of 2 more annoying characters.
I'm an X-Man. We always come back.
Oh.
Judge and jury. Did you know Judge and Jury?
Nope. Nope.
You can sit your ass right down there and talk about Punani, I guess. Fuck out of my face, bro.
Nope. Nope.
Who took out our Dino?
God damn it. Anyway, I have MVP Squirrel Girl. It's done literally nothing.
Come back to me.
That's a clean rollout, I'm really not gonna lie. No.
Oh, you stopped her?
Get out of my face, Wanda. Bum. I did stop her.
That's for what you did to a Rocco, Ultron.
Anyway, I'm purposefully letting the Squirrel Girl die to the fucking Thor. I'm just being petty at this point. I love you too, Web. I'm watching the flank,
No more holding back.
so don't worry about it. Just keep watching main. Yeah, it's Thor. I can't hit him.
Propulsion beam.
See, you see what I mean?
He's got the Hela team up. Okay, good, we got him.
Like he, no, I'm talking about like the way he ignores everyone else. It just comes straight for me.
He's going straight to point, honestly, and he's just hitting anyone who's in the way.
Man, I was nowhere near point. What if I solo alter this?
By the eye of Agamotto.
There's no way. Thank you. I'm coming back
Hi,
because I
neighbor.
need heals.
You're fine. I literally ulted nothing.
I saw an opportunity to ult right there. I was like, I don't know how this is gonna go.
You actually helped me get the Ultron with mine because you chunked him low enough.
Good. Fuck him. But fuck
Anyway.
Magneto more.
Thank you so
Ramen
much.
MVP.
Yes.
Web. Web, I love you, man.
I love him more.
Well, obviously.
You Norm. I would hope so.
Road work ahead. I sure hope it does.
Hope it does.
Your love for Web, I most certainly hope you do.
12 final hits. Thank you so much. Ugh.
But
I love
I only have
Spider-Man.
5. I settled in practice rate. I'm sorry, I'm taken.
Oh, that reminds me. I need to. Okay, I'll do it after. this
Oh,
next
my
game.
bad. Yeah, I've been
You're
meaning.
good.
You know what's funny is I've been meaning to change Cyclops' crosshair this whole time. I still haven't done it.
Lamau.
I don't know. There's something about right now. I just feel like
You'll need
the
a top-notch
little
team to
circle
win
is not
this
doing
one.
it for me.
Guys, settle it in practice.
Damn.
PvP.
Okay. Oh, okay, Hawkeye. Quack out. Quack out. Well, we have a Namor, so that's cool.
Hmm. Does Namor have a healer team up, or am I crazy?
I don't think it... I don't want Hellas. Maybe Namor's. Maybe Elsa.
No, Elsa's got
Odyssey?
Devil Dino and
30 seconds before you
Missy?
attack.
Deadpool.
Iron Mussy. Oh my god, that's such a funny crosshair name I gave that. What is Moon Knights? You know what? Sure, let's go with Moon Knights and see how it goes.
Look like Leroy de Poisson fixing to make a splash.
I'm going around because they can look inside.
You play with
They can. That's a good point.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There's someone here.
It's Hulk. Oh, Angela, actually. Anyway, I'm getting on point. Pony.
Anyways, that guy is dead. Hello?
I may be a thief, but no one steals from my people.
Here come Remy.
Wait, what is he? Oh, that's... I was like, who is he shooting at?
You seen stars?
Brother!
They keep trying to use that
How
teleport.
do you think you are?
They keep trying to use that teleport, and it is...
You fucked with the wrong Gambit main.
Yes,
Jeff, I
sir.
need you to stop. Spidey's back.
He's behind this little thing, I know. Did you just bully this man?
No, Wanda's so low. Thank you, Norm.
I was coming up there to
Right.
help.
He's 6'7" Master 2.0. You know what? You're so right, babe. How dare I? Oh.
I
Okay, I'm here.
love the shrubbery. Parrish, that you, bestie? No, no, no. You know what? I feel, well, see, Parrish just hasn't, he hasn't, I think because of Fortnite coming up, she was running away.
Well, hello there.
Because of,
She can't get through. She's too fat. No.
oh my god, I fucked that up so bad.
I can't get up there yet. Hi, Spidey. What are you doing?
I
What are
came
you
to help
doing,
the devil
Spidey?
dino.
I can't see you, by the way. There you go. You're topped off.
Angelina.
Get the fuck out of here.
Oh.
Where's Hank Pym when you need him?
Oop, I missed. That's fine. I got her anyway. Why is my reload not working?
The way I did all of that just to get back here, wild, crazy, insane. I just really wanted the Jeff.
Base. I missed again.
Thank you for dying, ma'am.
My reloads aren't
Nobody
working.
likes you.
Give him the final shot. Getting mighty close.
Nearly ready to cut loose.
Spidey is bound and determined to keep playing Spider-Man. I missed. That's unfortunate. Get out of here.
I've got eyes on our enemy.
No.
That should make a difference. I said it
Thank
out,
you.
but you did the hard part.
I wish I could
See,
reload.
She didn't know that that was all part of my master plan. Above.
Always glad to help.
Pretty
Is
sure.
your
that
button
was a
mapping
part.
after this game? Yeah, I'm gonna. One
Anyways.
No.
I thought about ulting just now, but maybe not yet.
Your big chance. I like the cold.
Nest of spiders, beware.
Anyway. Lamau.
I just decided I would use it. Yeah, Parrish hasn't loaded the game yet since he's reinstalled. But I also think with Fortnite stuff coming,
I'm trying.
but I think with
Oh,
the
bro,
Fortnite
you-
stuff, you're definitely gonna see him on Fortnite more than you're gonna see him on Rivals for this season upcoming.
I literally only do festival.
Yeah, we are sweaty pub stompers.
Based. Okay, my reloads are back.
I'm gonna use the bathroom really quick and pick an
Yeah.
actual crosshair that hopefully works for me. So I'll be right back.
Website.
In the bathroom, I gotta pee. You know what I enjoy? Twizzlers. Pulling pill, the regular ones, whatever. I was talking about this earlier with my friend Diego, and I was like, every time I really get like into focus mode, I have to have something to chew on, it feels like. And the number one thing that I end up chewing on is the most terrible sugary thing that I could. Right. Well, I have two big old bags of. Yes. I've also had a sweet tooth lately, so that's the other thing. I think my teeth can erode faster, but I'm over here like, I brush my teeth, so fuck you. All right, let me find a good thing for. Well, yes. What? Both, yes. I just, the thing with me, and this has always been a thing. The thing with me is, I think I'm more of a fidgeter when I do stuff, but instead of like fidgeting with something while I'm thinking, I end up eating something. So I just end up, Twizzlers have always ended up being that one treat. It can just hang out in my mouth. Hmm. 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 Oh, length. Can I rotate it so that it's an X? Oh, is it angle? Hehe. I found it. It's crosshair angle. Invalid characters. Oh, I see. I see. So command grab. All right, let me know when you're ready. Oh, okay.
You'll need a top-notch team to win
I
this
keep
one.
threatening my friend that I'm gonna like beat him up in Street Fighter.
Victory is in my sight.
Well, I also haven't played Street Fighter in like 20 years.
bond is stronger than ever, Gene.
Why do we have nothing but DPS right now?
30 seconds before you attack. Get ready.
Psionic arrows!
Scott, for a brief moment in time,
I'm gonna need this
I thought I'd
fucking thing to
lost
go away.
Never, Gene. An entire universe couldn't keep us apart.
or multiple universes, it seems.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No
I
matter where
am
life
so
takes
busy
us,
trying to
there's
get rid of a
one thing
gnat.
I know for certain.
The battle starts in
We'll always
5,
find each other again.
4, 3, 2, 1. All you need to do is capture the mission area. Got
I don't
it?
want to get rid of the Phoenix, though.
Fantastic. Standing
Been away from the battle for too long. It's nice to be back in action.
We've been
Now, let's see if this actually helps. If it doesn't, I'm going around.
spider style after this?
Who's doing that?
Double KO.
The professor didn't train quitters. I set it up, but
They
you
gotta
did the
rock
hard
that.
part.
Who needs shoot?
Cosmic
Fire! Trouble has arrived. I'm fucking helpful. You can't hurt me.
I hated doing that, Jubilee.
I saw the danger,
I don't give
and
up
I was trying to
quite
get
that
out of
easy.
there. But man, it's so hard to get out of there. We have no tank.
Phoenix Fist!
Propulsion beam!
That should make a difference.
If I do this again, fuck.
My turn to shine.
The professor didn't train quitters.
You're the only one who hasn't died yet.
You got them all.
I am the danger. I wish I could aim better.
Help get that vehicle to its destination.
It's up to us to deliver.
Perfect angle!
Us against the world.
Thanks for the boost.
I'm kind of trapped right here.
Maximum impact! Ah!
Maybe I should have stayed right there without doing anything. You know, you mentioned Breaking Bad, and I remember there was packs. I'll switch off because we're not gonna make any more progress without a tank, unfortunately. And none of these guys are gonna switch off. Okay, 1 second.
Magic is not the only invisible force in play here. Good medicine.
An unseen assist.
Nice, dude.
We are blessed to be in your presence, BC. Please don't tire. You're welcome.
Yeah, they're being healed by what's her name really well.
I am strengthened.
I die there.
I have unfinished business here.
Anybody want some nuts? The light force is building. Get that vehicle moving again.
Okay, whore.
Power beyond sight.
Usually I create my own shield.
I should.
It's time we had words with Sholau the Undying. Not just dying. Yo soy el final.
Oh, that's right. It goes through my shield. I turned around like, who the hell hit me from behind?
Double KO.
The doctor is in.
Us against the world.
Tandy needs help.
Good medicine.
You know what's crazy about this?
Hurry. The Book of the Iron Fist must be delivered soon.
Your attacks are futile. Don't mind me. Not just dying.
I really cannot do anything. I need to ult.
The sorcerer.
Down to 30 seconds.
By the eye of Agamotto.
I am Phoenix.
No one took advantage of that. Okay, you got one.
Final 10 seconds.
I try to get Bucky, but he's Bucky.
Nowhere yet. Going to overtime.
But there's so much still being up.
Haunts you.
They had
Helpful. Let's find Sholau and hope we don't. Someone scratch my back.
I can't hit shit right now.
Ionic magic.
They have a Cyclops now? What the hell? Copycat?
There. Don't turn back now.
What a fucking copycat.
An unseen assist. Yo soy el final.
Vehicle reached a checkpoint. Keep up the momentum.
Someone scratch my back.
We got company.
Man, I hate projectiles so much. No one else is on this.
That with your weak human eyes?
Us against the world.
They are on sight.
Only 60 seconds left. Everybody needs a hand sometimes. That's it. Don't let anything stand in your way.
78 on all.
The eye
So
must
now we're
rest.
ancient book delivery service?
Down to 30 seconds.
Did that with your weak human eyes?
So close. This is a big
That went past me on fort. That was so dumb.
double KO. No winner yet. Going to overtime.
Almost. I'm almost there. It would be a waste of time.
And unseen by the eye of Agamotto. We are blessed to be in your presence, beast. Lead the way.
That's exactly what I was hoping for.
Another epic victory. Big win.
I was hoping so much that when like I would get there to the point, get a couple hits maybe, and then just like Agimoto. That was so clutch. You know what? I'll give them a thumbs up. So just know, I'm doing it with disdain. Like none of you other ninjas could have switched off to a tank. None. I love Summer Bucky. I want to
The
play
right
him,
heroes
but
can
I don't
make
have the
all
aim
the
for Bucky.
difference.
Victory is in my sight.
One second. I'm gonna search it. Don't tell me.
She may not be here, but she's always
We'll be
with
coming
me.
in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
Need to see the name again. Okay, there it is.
Ever miss the days when we were just carefree teens, saving the world between classes?
I've been hunted my whole life for being born different. I've never had the luxury of being carefree.
I see. I see. I see. I
Battle
understand.
starts in 5, 4, 3.
Where's our Cyclops?
2,
Too busy
1.
Urban Dictionarying that
We have to
person's
stop
name.
them from securing the mission area.
Yo.
With me on your
Do I
side,
hear Spider-Man or is that you?
guarantee you're in
Or that's
for a
him. Never mind.
blast.
I'm silly.
You wish you were this cool.
I didn't get that fucking spot. You're kidding me.
This wasn't your day.
That was quite a show, Jubilee.
Does a Lord Icon do bonus damage?
Knew I saw trouble.
Bum ba-dum. Bum 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 bum. I missed so many shots. I gotta get the
The battle's not done.
Twizzlers
Neither
away
am I.
from me, or else I'm gonna eat all of this bag. Okay, you know what? Fine. They're like, I know how to stop you from getting any more Twizzlers. I did the wrong one. You only get half of this one.
Spider mode.
Okay, never mind.
I'll never turn down a shield.
Coming in fast.
No contingency plans needed. Perfect angle.
I didn't hit a headshot on that? Crazy. I think I jumped someone's projectile. Thank you. Another one.
Thanks for the boost.
Judge, jury, executioner.
Oh, I got turned around. I got so turned around.
Wow, 4 in a row.
We X-Men beat death a long time ago.
Limbo stands with you.
Does a Lord Icon do bonus damage?
The team up nobody is real good for them all. Perfect angle.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
That's fucking stupid.
Count it down! Don't mess with the amazing
The professor didn't train quitters.
So you're saying the professor trained everyone to swallow?
Only 60 seconds left.
Protect this spot with everything you have.
Icon do bonus damage?
Perfect angle. Believe in magic.
Maximum pulse.
There are more of them than there are of us.
Down to 30 seconds. You need to stop that vehicle in its tracks.
Expected better.
Double KO.
You expected better.
We always come back.
Better stop that vehicle.
The face I just made.
They got me good. I could use a hand and maybe a foot.
That hurts. Invaded half lane. Stop them.
Thanks for the boost.
Coming in fast.
Yo soy el final. Yo soy el final. That's reach.
And this is why your
Professor
dick is
didn't train
small.
Quitters.
There's still a chance to stop them.
Oh, he's on the turret? I'm gonna change. Wait, where am I at? Oh, I'm at 78. Never mind. I'll wait till I alt, then I change. If Norm hits Namor, no, I'm thinking about going tank actually.
Thanks for the boost.
Judge, jury, executioner!
Shame to lose such
I'm doing this my way. Verdict's in. Time to prove it.
I don't give up quite that easy.
Perfect angle!
If the battle's not done, neither am I.
I'm going in with the alt. Oh, I got one.
Don't mess with the amazing Spider-Man!
Still got some.
It would have been better if we had a tank.
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
I was not doing well in Cyclops that game. It didn't feel like I was doing better than the rest of the team. Oh, I spelled it backwards. Oh, I see. I see. Mhm. That's crazy. Tell them to stop playing Spider-Man and I'll stop hitting Namor. That's all it takes. Play a non-diver and I'll stop playing Namor. I'm talking about them. Y'all can do whatever the hell y'all want on my team. Yeah, them. If they're out here in the club, always picking fucking
Victory is in my sight.
Spider-Man, they can kiss my ass. But y'all are fine, because y'all cool. You're cool, you're hot, you're sexy. All that. Alright, I gotta put these Twizzlers up. I swear to God, I will eat all of them. And that's not good for my health. But they're so good. They're so... It's because I'm playing Rivals. That's what it is.
They'll be coming in 30 seconds. Stay strong.
And I'm trying to think at the same time.
Wait, you're one of Apocalypse's horsemen now? Really?
You're a terrible tank. No, I'm kidding.
You got a problem with that?
Me? No. I know exactly what it's like to be forced to serve a greater power that you might not always agree with.
Finally, someone who understands.
The battle starts in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here's the deal,
You have to
Pickles.
stop them from securing the mission area.
I don't know which way they're coming, but I always think they're gonna default come the way I'm looking.
The more this will hurt.
They did not come that way. What the hell?
Maximum impact! You wish you were this cool.
Nice soup.
Maximum impact.
Thank you.
Punch it up.
I'm leaving because I'm afraid of someone trying to go the other way. She got that? She has range.
A disappearing.
I don't know if nah, she got me before it
Still
went up.
got some fight left in me.
Bye, Web. This is the last game anyways, because it's getting there. When I gotta start dinner. Making me some salmon. And some rice. Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel like most people do not have the best timing on.
You deserved better, Emma.
You know what? I wanted to do the other thing and I did not release my ult. That was so bad. I know, but I wanted to release my ult and I canceled it accidentally. I'm so ass, chat. Yes, they belong to you. I'm not there yet, so I can't do shit. Okay, she just stood there. Let me do that.
Thanks for the boost. You dish it out. I can take it.
Damn it, never fall!
Oh, I didn't have it. What the hell? Girl, what are you doing? Oh, you already got her.
Everybody needs a hand sometimes.
That should make a difference.
Only 60 seconds left.
Beautiful.
Mark my prey.
Now, they're not going to expect me to be up here, are they? Oh my god, they did. They did. They did. They did. Ah, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, that's not good.
We X-Men beat
The
down
final 10 seconds.
Oh no, I'm on my way back. I don't have ult though. That's the bad part. Oh,
Nowhere yet.
I'm at 64. They have a pretty good stack of people there already. Oh my goodness. Your wall went up and I was like, ah. I died. Oh my god, that was clutch. I've never seen that point defended so well. Or one like that. I've never seen it. It's always been like, it feels like it's going well and then it just collapses. And then it comes down to that like final push. I totally backed out because I was like, oh my god, it's time. It's time for me to go. I gotta go. I gotta get out of here. I gotta eat. I'll fish tomorrow. Okay, thank you, headset, for letting me know that I'm not using you. Thank you. Okay. My headset, my other one, decided it was going to do the whole like, and I was like, okay. It always happens when I play Rivals and stream. If I'm just alone, fine. Playing Final Fantasy, fine. I don't get it. I don't get it. Okay. Is it this one? Is it this one? Amazing. Okay. Thank you for the games. I will fish tomorrow. I'm gonna get my actual fish now. Actual fish, some salmon. See you later. I just realized I had that muted. Oh no. No one heard anything on Angel's side. She was like, goodbye, chat. Angel said goodbye, chat. And she sends kisses. Okay, let me get my other mouse back on and charge my Logitech one that I use. I definitely have to get back into Kovacs because there's a lot of shots I could have made that I missed. And I'm really depressed about it. All right, no stream tomorrow. So I hope you guys have a good Tuesday. I have election worker training tomorrow, and that's at 2:30 and it goes to about 6:30. It's way downtown. So there will be no stream tomorrow. So like no North Horn tomorrow, no reset tomorrow. I'll make it for it on Wednesday and Thursday. I'll do that, or Thursday I might do. Actually, no, maybe I'll hold off until Thursday and Friday, maybe, and do 14 then. Because when does the creator support a creator thing end? If you guys haven't gotten your unicorns yet, just look forward to either Wednesday or Thursday, Friday. It's just 3 subs. You can sub yourself and then you can gift to others, or you can give 3 subs if you want to, sub yourself here. But yeah, I think Lucian is on, so I'll read Lucian. Tuesday. But I appreciate y'all for hanging out. It was fun. It was really fun. Oh my god, I haven't been to Lo-Fi in so long. Oh my god, I should go to Lo-Fi. Wait, the boat is there, so I'm very much like just boat heavy right now. I love the boat. If y'all see me on the boat in 14, say hi. I've had a lot of people who have come up. Well, not a lot of people, but I've had some oomphs who have. I've had some friends who have come up and said hi and hung out. It's been really fun. It's been fun to see people overall. All right, so yeah, no stream tomorrow. I'll see y'all Wednesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Most likely it'll either be Fortnite or 14, one of the two. But take care of yourselves, each other, most of your friends and family. I'll see you Wednesday. Love your faces. Say hi to Lucian. They're playing DBD. Bye. I think it's the last day for 2v8 too, so there you go. All right. Love your faces. Mwah. Bye.